when we were tossing around dates to come down, we thought about maybe coming down that last week of October. But I was like, I don't know, man. Halloween in Key West probably sounds a little dicey for an 8-year-old.
It's weird. They have a thing called Fantasy Fest. You don't want to come for that.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Flow Show. It's your boys, Steve Strazza, Sean McLaughlin, Chicago Sean. What's happening? Strazza, how you feeling, my friend?
Feeling good. How about you?
I'm feeling real good because as soon as we're done recording this, I'm heading up to the mountains to enjoy some nature and some music. So feeling good. All right, so let's get into it. I got on my chart here, Brandon, if you want to throw this up on my screen, I got the VIX chart. The VIX was just in a punishing downtrend for those of us who are long volatility, punishing downtrend for, let's call it 2.5 months. And then end of last week, coming into this week, we've had a little bit of pop. Now is this a little temporary blip? Soon to go back and test those lower levels, or is that bounce that the S&P 500 did off its 200-day moving average from below something that we need to take a little bit more seriously? What are your thoughts there, Strazza?
I mean, listen, we'll know soon. We'll have to find out. We'll just watch the price action as it comes in. There were a ton of bullish developments. Sure, the corrective action now is coming in a little bit strong, but it's only been a few days. So I would say, let's wait and see. One thing stands out from a bearish perspective. There's a lot more red on this list than usual. If you look at the flow table.
So up on the screen now, Brandon, is the follow the flow release. What do we call that? Chart table?
Yeah, unusual options table.
And what we're doing here is we're looking at the unusual options flow, trying to figure out, hey, is there some action here that is notable that we should be taking, observing and maybe making some trades off of. So, and you're right, there is more red here than we typically have seen. I mean, we've been doing this show now, I don't know, on and off for about 6 months, I think, Strazza. And regardless of the market environment, whether it's bullish or bearish, it seems like most of the action we've been seeing has been call buying activity. So Seeing a lot of put buying activity here is notable.
A lot of puts on the offer. Yeah. Deutsche Bank, Generac, Dutch Bros, Carvana.
So is there anything in there that matches up with some technicals that you're observing that, hey, thinks that maybe there's something to it, something here?
Well, you were talking to me offline a minute ago about Oxy. Mm-hmm. Oxy definitely stands out. More news from Warren Buffett last week. He got approved to take up to a 50% stake in the company. So maybe that's where this is headed. That would be a lot more buying. Would probably mean more new highs for Oxy. Chart looks great. But Antero Resources was another one, which is right here. And I think energy in general, listen, it's been really strong, even as the market has corrected a little bit, even as crude oil was making 6-month lows. Look, if energy is above 78, I think the whole space looks good. So,
yeah, I mean, look, the energy space had every reason to sell off recently with oil coming back, but we've been observing it that a lot of these stocks have hung in tight, right? I mean, we're in Oxy, we've been in Oxy for a while. We're in Chevron, that one's been doing pretty well. I mean, nothing really got hit that hard, I don't feel. I mean, unless I'm missing something.
No, they've been really resilient, right? And, even with the dollar being strong, stocks coming off, crude oil being weak, what if crude oil starts trending higher now? Energy stocks are probably still working really well.
Right. Well, this Antero Resources, AR, I don't like the trading action today. I have to be honest with you. I'm not liking the chart today.
What's it doing right now?
But yeah, you can see today's action on my screen there. On the left side of my screen here, we got an intraday chart. It's kind of ugly here. Right around 1 o'clock Eastern, we had a pretty good little whoosh there. Yeah. So I'm not liking today's candle overall. But that withstanding, I mean, implied volatility is pretty cheap. If we liked this setup for a longer term bullish play, we would probably have a good opportunity to keep it simple and just buy straight calls. There's plenty of liquidity in this name. It trades weekly options. The bid-ask spreads are pretty tight. We got strikes every dollar up and down the board. I mean, Hey, I would probably, if I wanted to play this, I'd want to give myself some time. I'd probably want to look into January. I'm thinking at the earliest. What's that? That's 5 months from now, 6 months from.
January's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if energy stocks are going to work, we're probably going to get a nice leg higher into the back half of the year.
Yeah. One thing that gives me a little bit of pause is you know this, Straza, that when I buy calls, I prefer buying a call that has an approximately 25 delta. It just feels like that gives me a nice boost in leverage when I get it right. And also it's not super expensive. So, my downside is limited, but the 25-ish delta strike is the 60 strike, which feels, I don't know, feels a little aggressive. Maybe not.
Yeah, I mean a 50% move basically. That would
Yeah.
be these stocks when they move, they move. I mean, look, Antero Resources was under $1 in 2020.
Was it really? Oh my.
At 42 today. So I think 50% move is fine. If these stocks are going to work, I think that
All right. Well, look, if you think a 50% move is just another day in the park, then buying these 60 strike calls in January and paying looks like you'd pay about let's say 250. You can maybe get them a little cheaper. Seems like you can get a lot of bang for your buck if that were to happen. I got to be honest, Strez, I think that I would play this a little bit more conservatively. Call me a wimp if you want, but I think I would probably prefer playing this with a bull call spread. Maybe buy the 50 strike and sell the 60 strike against it. That would cost me, that only cost me $1.30. So basically just halved the cost of buying the 25 delta options. And I would have a much higher opportunity to profit. The P&L, hold on, let me see if I can pull this trade up and show you what it looks like on my graph. But here we go. Let's zoom out here. I mean, this is what a bull call spread would look like, right? Here's what your P&L graph would look like. We're trading right here around 42. If the stock traded at anywhere above, let's say around 40 or 51.25 at expiration, we would stand to profit there. So we have a higher probability of success with a bull call spread, and it's a more conservative bet. But I think that's the way I would play it.
No, I was just going to say it is definitely a higher probability trade. Stock doesn't have to do as much to win on that one, right?
Yep. I mean, the stock would have to go. Let's see here. Let's play with some numbers here. Stock would have to move about 22%. I don't know if you can see that there on my chart. It'd have to move about 22% just to break even at expiration. Now, it doesn't mean it has to move 22% for us to make money. If the stock moved up 10% next week, we would be sitting on profits in this position. So it's not like we have to wait, for the 22% move to happen. Yeah. It just means that if the stock does move 22% or more from here, at least we're locked in or guaranteed a profit above, let's say 31 or 51 bucks a share. That's all I'm saying.
I think you make a good point about the price action today too. I'm looking at it right now. I mean,
I love it.
Yeah, energy stocks are up today. Sure, E&P has come in a little bit, the explorers and producers, but XOP, that ETF, is still up about 2.2%. And then Antero, that's a bearish engulfing candle, down 2.5%. So, I like both these setups. I don't like putting it on today, though. I would want to see, how this.
Yeah, I think this is one of those ones we could kind of put in our hopper here and keep an eye on for the next few days and see if we can find a better opportunity. See if today's sell-off is just kind of an aberration and if it holds from here. And
like
maybe
the leaders, like Oxy. Like pull up Oxy's chart.
Love this chart.
Yeah.
Look at that chart. Beautiful. Now, I don't want to rub any salt in your wounds, but I know you recently got out of a long position in Oxy.
Did. Yeah. Thank you. I've been in it since late 2020, so it's been good. It was a good trade.
Yeah. I mean, no one's feeling sorry for you, Strezzy. You had a good ride. Very good ride. Well done, my friend. All right. Any other opportunities there that are different outside of the energy space, or is that what's really at the top of your list right now?
That's really what stood out. A lot of these growth stocks, Tilray, Sonos, Snap, all falling knives for the most part. Energy has been promising, so that Oxy also, like we talked about.
Yeah. No, energy is definitely promising, and like we were saying earlier, like we love the way yeah, it's sold off as you might imagine. There was a lot of hot money in this sector at the beginning part of the year. A lot of that hot money has come out, but technically speaking, it didn't do a whole lot of damage to the space. These charts, if you zoom out, still look great from a long-term perspective.
So resilient. And then, you have days like today where these names are up 5, 6, 7%. So I think if the broader market starts to get into gear, crude oil starts to work, yeah, you'll see more of this.
All right, so I think the takeaway from our show today is there is some bullish activity, options activity happening in Antero Resources. It warrants us keeping an eye on it. We're going to be patient, though, and not get into a trade today. We're going to see what comes of today's action. And if the stock holds here over the next day or so, maybe later in the week, this could be a good opportunity at a better price.
And energy, too. Like, what a big development. If XLE is above 78, large cap energy, the path of least resistance is higher for the whole group.
For sure. Gotta love this XLE chart right now. I mean, this is very constructive action here. All right, folks, that's all we got for you for the Flow Show today. I'm going to get in my car and head up to the mountains. Straza, I don't know. What are you going to do? Head to the beach? What are you doing?
Probably in my office, maybe the beach. That sounds nice. Maybe.
All right. Well, take care, everybody. We will be back next week with another Flow Show. In the meantime, have a great trading day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.